Hey folks, welcome back to Grunty's Revenge. Here in Spiral Mountain, just got done dealing with the third level, Bad Magic Bayou, and now we just need to grab this Jiggy, and then head back to Jiggy Wiggy in order to unlock the fourth level. Yes, it's that wonderful time yet again when we take a long, tedious walk back, and yeah, it's just as thrilling every other time we do it. I can assure you. We have more than enough Jiggies. If you're getting all the Jiggies in a level, or even most of them, you won't have many problems up until later in the game. Yep, way all the way over there. Wonderful. So, back over here at Spiral Rise, since you really don't want to see all that traveling. And this time we'll actually be exploring this upper area, the Spiral Mirror. Because there are plenty of notes, actually a couple of Jiggies in the area, that some of which I could have gotten before, some of which I couldn't. And, you know, why go out of my way when I'm not hurting for Jiggies? Anyway, this guy, Dolphin Shenanigans yet again. This is just testing your ability to react to things, and if you're not good at reaction time, I suppose that could be actually kind of difficult, but yeah, just shoot at him. There's plenty of time to spare. I think I remember actually having trouble with this part as a kid, because as a kid I was an even worse gamer than I am now. But here, not too tough. And a Jiggy for our buffer. So now then, we can swim around, grab some notes on land as well. Some of the notes I will wait until after we do the level for, just because I feel like it. And I want to get into the level a little quicker, so let's go in. This here is Spiller's Harbor. Spiller Harbor is basically this game's equivalent of Rusty Bucket Bay. I would attribute it to be more similar to Rusty Bucket Bay than, say, Jolly Roger Lagoon. Anyway, first things first, let's grab ourselves a move. And now we're getting into the pad-activated things of the game. Wonder Wing actually in the original games was not activated by a pad. I think they made it a pad so that they could have more button combinations for more useful things. But Wonder Wing is essentially time-based invincibility. Not nearly as useful as you might think. Basically used for puzzles in this game, and puzzles for all the other games too, honestly. Anyway, this is a much more non-linear kind of area, as far as I can tell. There are a lot of times where, yeah, you can deal with everything in each area, like, alone, but that's only if you really know what you're doing. It's not something where you can just walk along and run into Jiggies. So this blob of chocolate ice cream is missing her little blob of chocolate ice cream children, and we need to go find them, because we are good people. Also up here, by the way, guess who it is? It's Mr. Bofsky. Or his identical twin brother, I don't know. And oh my god, it's another slide. Wonderful. So yeah, down here... Oh look! It is a, after we deal with this enemy, it is a perfectly innocent, glob of chocolate ice cream. Now, not that he doesn't actually tell you where it is, but it's right over here, so pretty simple. Anyway, this machine is actually useful in the post-game. This game has a post-game. It's a mini-game replay machine. It's not worth discussing any further. So that is one of the 2 blobs of chocolate ice cream down. And if you knew where the other one was, you could have already talked to it at this point, but you wouldn't think to, you wouldn't know to. Anywho, actually getting kind of close to the limit on notes. The final move of the level I actually don't have enough notes for at this point. Suddenly, things have gotten tight. You have to start exploring. You might have to go back to previous levels and finish collecting notes there if you haven't. So you could say this is where things get serious in the game. Anyway, this pad-based power-up was actually pad-based in the original games as well. So the shock spring pad allows you to cover even greater vertical distances, but only where the game wants you to. Anywho, jump carefully into there, grab notes and whatnot, and this is why we wanted to grab the Wonder Wing earlier, so that we wouldn't have to backtrack into here once we got the Wonder Wing to take care of this TNT-based boss fight. I imagine that was kind of inspired by King Boombox in Rusty Bucket Bay in the original game. It would make sense, since this is inspired by Rusty Bucket Bay. Anywho, now get back up on the roofs again. We'll be going to these rooms in a bit more of a dire situation a bit later. But that's something I'm putting off because it's difficult. Why, yes, I am mad. Anywho, let's go find that other blob of chocolate ice cream. And actually, let's take care of this last bird first, because birds are jerks. Getting rid of birds makes another bird appear. And this other bird is actually a nice bird. Mr. Drippy is an entirely innocent name for ice cream. Anyway, that ice cream, although we don't know it yet, is actually the desired item by the other blob of chocolate ice cream. It's a little cannibalistic, but it's okay. I mean, it's a video game. Kazooie, what are you talking about? I don't know what she's thinking. And that is the last blob of chocolate ice cream, so now that we can go to the mother blob of chocolate ice cream and say hi, grab a prize. Also shortcut. That's actually not probably the intended reason for the shortcut. It has other uses. And yay, a Jiggy for our trouble. So now I suppose I should steel myself and do probably the hardest Jiggy in this level. And there's one other Jiggy that compares, but I would say the hardest. Anyway, go up here, pound this pad, and activates a sequence of pad-based activities, some of which are time-based. And you will have to rush to get over there, most likely. I mean, it's not too tight, but sometimes enemies will get in your way, like right there. Anyway, take your Wonder Wing over here and get rid of all these bees who would attempt to kill you otherwise. Now you can pound this shock spring pad and do the whole shebang again. I do think it's clever that they're using a single pad for multiple purposes. I mean, there's no reason to, but I think it's clever. And one last pound, and this is the tricky part. Appears on that roof there. And you may remember that our jump to get over there was a rather tricky jump, and also we have to bust through there, and go through Shock Spring, and Paradeath Flow up here. And then this is just a really tight jump, you can just barely make that. But, in the end, you get a Jiggy. Hooray. That's something where you just have to kind of persist. I mean, you might die, but persist. Ah! Mouse. Mouse shenanigans. Anyway, one last thing before we revisit this as a mouse, is that coin there. And now we can head back south. Now, over here is the beach, the Bilge Haven. We saw it briefly earlier. And has another coin, and as you can see, another area for the mouse to explore. That mouse is getting a lot of airtime. And yet another roof shenanigan thing. I really do like them using like roofs as obstacles, basically, rather than just arbitrary, strange-looking platforms. I mean, it actually feels like a town, a location place. Anyway, this is a Tip Top Suite, which is kind of a double entendre, but not sexual for once. Tip Top was the turtle in the original game, and he actually appeared in the sequel, but not musically related. He was a conductor of music, so a Tip Top Suite would either be his, his living suite, or a suite as in the musical suite, which I think is pretty clever. Anyway, careful there. There's an enemy. And Black Jinjos this time around. Says something about, like, dirtiness or something. Anyway, now that we have those 5 coins, we can backtrack up here again. Told you there'd be backtracking. And get on the water slide. Really? Avoid obstacles? Really? Wow. So, he says this is a race, but that's code for hit the good things, don't hit the bad things. Because every good thing you hit, either closes or widens the gap depending on your position, and Tar will do vice versa. It's an obstacle course basically, except you have to hit good things. It's like every other slide. Jesus Christ, come on. That's basically what it comes down to. I mean, it's a neat framing device. It's better than collect these things because I'm a lazy person. But it is basically the same gameplay mechanics. And we're back on the beach yet again. They just can't keep us away. And we're leaving. Yay. So our next stop is actually up here. This is where Mumbo's skull is. And here we can transform into a rat. We do have a new transformation in this level, but that won't come into play until after we beat the boss. And where will we head first? To the sandcastle. Sandcastle has a good number of notes as well as a Jiggy, and if you saw for the brief second or so when I was standing near him, I do not have enough notes for Bazai's new move. So this is a maze of sorts, except with enemies. Less of an obstacle course because you can actually destroy those purple pink things. But still, it's a maze. And again, the notes blend in with the sand, and it's just Regal Beach all over again. There are, I believe, 15 notes scattered around here in the sand. So, if you know how many you went in with, you'll know how many you need to come out with. Anyway, the main purpose here is to nibble on these switches here, which will allow you to create bridges on this upper path. And then eventually we'll get onto that upper path, and those bridges will allow us to get to various prizes. That may include a Jiggy, perhaps. See you right there, Jiggy. And that's our last bridge. There's 4, one in each corner, pretty easy to find. This isn't really a maze that you'll get lost in. And you might take a few wrong turns, but it's okay. I forgive you. Anyway, once you've activated all the switches, climb up this milk carton, which isn't necessarily intuitive. And over here to grab the Jinjo, and then make your way over roundabout to the Jiggy. Now keep in mind, you need all the bridges to progress, so moving to where the bridges are will assist you in traversing this area. I mean, you remember where you activated them, so you should be able to figure it out. And that takes care of the sandcastle. Still one last thing to do as a mouse. Very minor, but nonetheless necessary for completionists. Once again, back to Spillerston, or whatever, yeah, Spillerston. Climb through here. Fail to defeat the Whiplash, fail to jump over flowers. And grab these notes and that honeycomb shard. Yeah, I think the mouse can just barely slip through there, yeah. It can't slip through there. And that takes care of our mouse-based shenanigans. So let's head back to Mumbo. Get caught up on geometry again. And turn back to Bear and Bird. Unfortunately, the candle doesn't have a use in this level. After all the use that the mouse has been getting, I'm honestly kind of surprised. Like, I'm not sure why they didn't make the sandcastle a more candle-y based level, or maybe even, like, make it accessible to both and you can choose, but nope. Anyway, now that we have enough notes, let's go talk to Bazai and get our last new move of the level. Ice eggs. We've been collecting them, and now we get to use them. Ice eggs are an egg that were introduced in Banjo-Tooie as enemy freezing eggs. I know, it's amazing. And aside from freezing enemies, they basically were used to unlock ice egg-shaped doors, basically. As you can see, ta-da! freezes them. Doesn't change their palette or anything, but freezes them. And now that we have ice eggs, we can go take on the boss. Oh no, you jerk. Anyway, the boss is over here by the lighthouse. Do some kind of tricky platforming with the shock pads. I mean, it can be hard to judge exactly where you are in relation to the platforms above you, so you'll often slam your head into the platforms. It's unfortunate. And here we go. Shooting style boss. So each of those red parts can take 3 hits, and you want to destroy all the red parts. But after she gets 3 of them destroyed, she will go into kind of berserk mode that's harder to deal with. So I recommend damaging each thing like 2 hits, and then destroy the 3rd part. And then 2 of the 3 parts here will only take 1 hit to destroy. All the while she's shooting at you, you can destroy her shots in midair. I'm pretty terrible at it. And with this last part, it's better just to unload it. Don't try to aim, just unload your arsenal. It's actually a pretty tough boss, I admit. But trying again, generally the best strategy. And, as per usual, a Jiggy and a Mumbo token. Now, we're going to make use of this Mumbo token. Nope, we're gonna have these eggs. Now let's make use of the Mumbo token. Now then, what could our wondrous transformation for this level be? Well, you may have noticed the toxic water. You might think that our transformation is something that would let us deal with toxic water. And you'd be right. Our next transformation is the octopus. This guy is criminally adorable. He can shoot things, he can jump, and he can make squeaky noises. He's just basically the best transformation since the crocodile in Bubble Group Swamp. So basically, Octopus can swim around in this toxic water that would damage the Baron Bird. And that allows him to access various areas that Baron Bird could not safely access. And grab these notes. You can grab this Jiggy. You can actually go in the oil. You might not think that you can at first, but you can. Sometimes. And this Jinjo, I did not know this Jinjo was here until I came to grab that note. I was surprised. I was like, oh hey, that's actually kind of a clever way to hide a Jinjo. It's right by where you start, but you don't find it until later. Anyway, swim in here, and we've got a side-scrolling octopus section. You can hold forward to move faster, but generally not recommended. Doesn't take too long, and you'll want to be as safe as possible, because those frickin' mines, jerks upon jerks. Anyway, if you're feeling that your life is lacking intensity, feel free to hold forward to do this faster, but not really necessary. Vengeance on the mines, okay. So basically this is killing enemies, grabbing some notes, and a prize at the end, as you might expect. But I do like that this is kind of an obstacle course done in engine, rather than like those water slides. There we go. And the octopus can actually jump really high, it's surprising. Grab those notes, grab that Jiggy. And, yeah, that was basically the highlight of the octopus usage, unfortunately. You could use them to safely grab a certain batch of notes in the sandy area, the beach area, but you can also grab those as Banjo, so it's alright. I really like the octopus. I wish he had gotten a little more use on this level. But you'll see him again. Now then, we're closing in on the end of the level. And as you can see, we've been running all over the place. Anyway, grab that Jinjo that we saw before. I think that is so clever. And go back to Spiller's one last time to grab the Jinjo Jiggy. But then we'll do that a little later. By later, apparently, I mean right now. Man, I was right next to the sandy area. That's where I had relevant things to do. And now I'm gonna have to yell at myself because I missed a note batch that's notoriously hidden. Maybe not notoriously, because maybe people never found it. There's a 5 batch of notes right behind the Jinjo statue. It's impossible to see, doesn't make a sound. I don't know how you're supposed to find it. But, yeah, I didn't know it was there at this point. I had to go look for it later. Anyway, back to Bilge Haven. And this is the second of the 2 Switch gauntlets, I guess I'll call them. This one is much more focused on the shock spring rather than invincibility. So yeah, the time limits aren't too tight here, except for this one. Because again, you'll have to navigate through enemies in order to get to the switch that you want to get to. Luckily, I managed to avoid them. And then that jump right there, actually, to this platform, is tricky. So you might fail just because you missed that jump, which would be annoying. And then, oh good lord, you have to go all the way back over here, jump around, and use that one. And there's your Jiggy. Last Jiggy of the level. See, no backtracking in this level. You can learn from this bad magic Bayou. Anyway, I'm still missing 15 notes. And there's actually 5 right over here. This is the one that the octopus might be useful to find. So that is a tricky jump right there. The toxic water will only hurt you, it won't automatically kill you, but still, it's not pleasant to land in. Anyway, another one hidden right there, right at the beginning. And then the last one is behind the Jinjo Oracle, which just pisses me off. It's a legitimately bad place to hide it. If it were offset a little to make it actually visible, that'd be one thing, but it's not. It is 100% invisible. Maybe they're like 2 pixels visible through the Jinjo statue. It's bad. It's just plain bad. I'm sorry. And that takes care of Spiller's Harbor. Next time we have the final level of the game. And I'll see you guys next time.